Welcome to the Joyride podcast, where we explore the path to becoming your most authentic self. I'm your host, Rebecca Joy, a self-development coach, human design expert, spiritual enthusiast, and motivational speaker who's absolutely obsessed with personal growth and transformation. On this podcast, I'll be sharing my own journey and insights to help you activate your power, amplify your confidence, and become the most magnetic version of yourself. Each episode delivers actionable strategies, powerful energy shifts, and spiritual wisdom that you can immediately apply to break through any limitations and create lasting change. Whether you're seeking deeper self-understanding, professional growth, or spiritual connection, the Joyride gives you the tools to transform your potential into your new abundant reality. Welcome to the Joyride. Hello. Welcome back to the Joyride podcast. Happy May. It is May 1st, and for all of my new listeners and subscribers, it's subscribers, right? Actually, I don't really know. But if you are new, welcome to the Joyride. Very, very happy to have you here. I actually just got done with filming some content for YouTube right before this, which I spoke about this in the last podcast episode, but that is my new venture. And I actually released a video, I want to say maybe like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, when I decided, like, yes, we're going for it. I'm coming back to YouTube. If you kind of want a little background story, very, very quickly, I have always known that I was meant for YouTube. Like, I think I knew maybe it was either at the tail end of college or right after that. And I tried, and it was not working. And this was a long time ago. I graduated college in 2017. I remember sitting down at my desk when I was living at home with my parents in the Bay Area and, gearing myself up to film my first video, and it just, it was not the right time. So it's been quite a journey to come back to YouTube. And when I decided a few months ago that I was ready to come back and fully invest in doing this, I had to do a lot of work around, why I wanted to come back and what my reasoning was, and is this coming from an ego stance, and yada, yada, all that. But yeah, I released a video a little while ago, but then my priority was getting out my workout program and my new website, which both are up now. So if you haven't already, take the time to go look at my website if you're interested in a session, if you're interested in coaching, if you're interested in purchasing the Radiate program. When you hear this episode, the sale for Radiate will be over by then because the sale ended on May 2nd, but the program is up. It's going to be up for forever. I don't know. I'm just so proud of the strength program that I created and would love to have you be a part of it. So yeah, just finished filming for YouTube, and that is my new, venture or creative project that we are working on right now. I'm still, I feel like I mentioned this in every episode, but my podcast feels kind of just something that's there right now. I mean, I've gone through phases where I'm like, ooh, I want to be known for this podcast and I really want something to happen with it, but I've been sitting with myself and taking a lot of time. And I do know that as a creative and as an entrepreneur, I have a lot of things going on, but I'm also really, really working on simplifying everything in my life based on where I'm going and what I want to be spending my time doing. And I think it's really, really important for all of us to, of course, always be checking in with ourselves, but when we're doing something, it's we have to continuously ask ourselves the question of okay, well, why am I doing this? What is the outcome that I want? And, maybe you're just I don't really have an outcome and I just want to do this, and that's totally fine. But when it comes to my energy, and I really do believe that this resonates with everyone, it's we only have a certain amount of energy to give. So I have just done so much work over the years over really, really figuring out where my energy needs to go and how can I honor my energy. And in this phase of my life, I'm like, you know what? This podcast is cool. And I just love to talk. And even last night, when I know that I really need to sit down and have a talk, like it just flies out of me. Last night, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night, and I was just talking for 20 minutes out loud with such conviction and like, I had so many messages flowing through me, and I've always known this about myself. I'm such a big talker. I'm such a big communicator that it just flies out of me, especially when I really, really feel the need to share. So when that happens, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to record a podcast episode. But with YouTube, it's so different because that is a space where I'm like, I see it really evolving and really growing. And I really, really want it to. Like, that is a big goal of mine, to show up every week, to have my energy be very consistent, to be putting out these videos, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to grow my channel. And I, want to be known as a YouTuber, and I want to be known as someone who, like, this is a part of what I do. I don't want to say part of the job, because I'm straying away from, like, what is my job? Like, I'm a lot of different things. It's like my energy. It's just who I am as a person. So yeah, I figured with today's episode, I'm kind of feeling just giving like an update of what's happening in my life and what's going on. And today's May 1st, as I said. And I just like really, really love this time of the year. I feel like we're all coming alive again. And there have been so many shifts for a lot of people, a lot of breakthroughs happening. We're like, in the prime spring energy. It's before summer where people are traveling and frolicking around. And like, I think the spring season is such a beautiful season of blooming and becoming. And like, for me personally, this first part of the year it's been really cool. It's been really, really eye-opening. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of wrap it all up. I have gotten some really incredible new revelations and desires about me and my life and where it's headed. And so much, I feel like in these first 4 months, I did so much shifting. Not healing. I mean, of course you're always healing, but I would say that this first quarter has been filled with so much beautiful shifting. I'm a different person than who I was in January. And naturally, I always tend to feel that every kind of 3 to 6 months, but this is such a newer version of myself that I'm still not getting used to, but I'm just like, oh, this is cool. This is exciting. This is really new. So that is the energy that I have been in. And a few things that have been really potent in my world is one, this idea of really, really asking for help when you are shifting identities and you are becoming something different and becoming something that you are not familiar with, that is really not comfortable for you yet, but it's something that you really, really want. For instance, as I just mentioned, a lot of shifting has been happening in this first part of the year. And I've been doing a lot of work around okay, I'm going to be 30 this year. Where am I living? Not necessarily what am I doing, because I already see and know what I'm doing. But what is my identity? Who is Rebecca? And what is her lifestyle like? And for basically, yes, my whole life, but specifically my 20s, being a hyper independent woman and doing it all on my own has been extremely comfortable for me. And I'm so grateful that my soul really knows how to embody this independence, because it's gotten me to where I am. I meet people all the time and they'll say I'll tell them what they do, or I'll tell them my story, or they'll, watch my journey and they're like, I feel like you're just so courageous. And I'm like, really? I don't necessarily see myself as courageous, because putting myself out there and being expressive and following my joy and following my passions and just doing whatever I want to do is just so damn comfortable for me. it's just my life. But over the past year, so much has been shifting in that hyper independent identity. And what I have realized recently is that I am really, 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 really good at giving, but I'm not as comfortable with receiving, which is an interesting new revelation and something that has forced me to really sit with and to put in the work to change that, because I am not at a crossroads, but I'm definitely in a position in my life where the work that I'm doing is less, I want to say, self-absorbed. Like, so much of the work that I've done was only for Rebecca, and it was only for me, and I really needed to do this inner work in order to become this woman that I truly am so proud of. But this work that I am doing right now is very, very different, because what is being asked of me is to become this identity that my soul not only wants, but really, really needs. Like, this is a part of my soul's path, and I feel it and I know it, and I've gotten so much proof and so much evidence around this. And so, in order to shift, I am really being challenged to do things that I've never done before, and to embody this person that I will be very honest, like, I'm not comfortable with, like, being a partner, being a wife, doing life with someone. This is something that I've wanted for my entire life. I definitely have let this vision be overshadowed by my career aspirations, by just like my passions for life, for sure. And now that it's literally my number one priority, which is just so interesting to me, like I never thought that, like, being a partner and having, obviously I'm not going to meet my partner tomorrow and then we're going to get engaged, but like, stepping into this role of being a wife and being, having a husband and like doing life with someone, and then that developing into becoming a mother, like, is really my number one priority. And it's never been like that. So it's very interesting to recalibrate and to shift and morph into this person that is just so out of my comfort zone. Again, that's not to say that I don't want it, because I know that I really, really want it. But what I'm being asked of right now is to, every single day, one, be really, really conscious of what energy I'm embodying, and also the work that I'm putting in to get myself there. And yeah, it's something that I'm actively working on every single day. And for a little bit of context, my south node in astrology is in Aries, and my north node is in Libra. Not to say that this is like the only reason as to why I want this, of course, because, astrology and human design, these beautiful self-understanding systems, I believe, so greatly help us connect the dots and see the patterns within ourselves and, what is supposed to happen for us in our lives. So I have just always felt so comfortable with like getting things started and doing things all on my own. Like, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is known as being this, I think Aries is a masculine energy. It's just known for being hyper independent and kind of just like throwing itself at things and going and doing and starting things. And it's it's a fire energy. So I've always seen myself as someone that like just does what she wants. And I'm like, if I want to go do something, I'm going to get after it. Like, that's very normal and very comfortable for me. So to not just shed the layers, but again, to become this new person that my soul is like, bitch, we're ready. Like, I'm so ready for you to become this person. It is very uncomfortable in a sense. It's just so fresh and it's so new. And again, I'm doing work that I've never really done or prioritized. Like, every day I'm envisioning myself as a partner, and I'm envisioning my husband, and I'm showing up in my everyday life right now where I don't have a partner, but I'm envisioning him there, and I'm acting as if, he is doing life with me. So it just is, it's like a whole new territory. I feel like that's a really good way to describe it. But it's also really challenged me in the sense of like, I think sometimes it can get really, really frustrating for us when we are just so dang comfortable doing something, but we know like this is not working anymore. Like I'm ready for something new. I've outgrown it. Like I've been feeling this for months. I'm like, listen, babe, I don't want to be single anymore. Like I am so ready to wake up next to someone. I'm so ready to prioritize someone else. I'm so ready to do life with someone and everything that comes with it. And I'm very aware of that. And it's really, really cool. But at the same time, you know, I don't let myself fall in this spiral of being, I think it's just so easy when you want something really badly and you haven't gotten it yet, but you know that this is part of your story to say like, well, what if I never get it? Like, sure, I could sit back and I could spiral into fear and anxiety and say like, well, I know that I really, really want this, but like maybe it's just not possible for me. Maybe it's just not a part of my story. Even though I can visualize about it every day and dream about it and feel so emotionally connected to it and cry about it and pray about it. But I really could let myself go there. But, you know, I was asking my girlfriend, Lizzie, who's actually a triple Libra, when I was visiting her this past weekend in Scottsdale, asking just about like this journey that she's been on because she's very happily married. And I'm like, did you always picture yourself like being a wife and being a mom, and did it always feel normal? And she's like, yeah, totally. Like I met Tyler and I just like knew that like it was inevitable and it was going to happen. And it was just interesting to hear her talk about it, because for me, these desires of being a partner, being a wife, being a mom have kind of been, I guess, like put to the side, because so much of my energy and focus has been on like, how do we get Rebecca to the top, and how is she going to be seen by the world and acknowledged by the world? And it just was like, truly, my desires were so focused on just me. So it's really comfortable because that's where my soul comes from. Like your South Node energy is the energy of you were born into this world, and this is an energy that you have mastered, whether that's in your past life or just like you came into this world being a master at it. So I know, like, I am a master at being independent, doing everything on my own, going out to eat alone. Like, I just know how to do life alone so well. Like, sometimes I'm like, is this, like, I just don't, I don't understand how people don't know how to do life alone. Like, it's unsettling to them. But I'm sometimes like, is this a bad thing? But I also acknowledge, and I also know that like, okay, this makes so much sense, because I utilize these systems that tell me, they literally give me the facts. I'm like, okay, you know, it makes so much sense why it's so comfortable for me to be alone. But I'm also in this new, like, I guess, energy of becoming, where I fully acknowledge that like, well, just because you are a master at it doesn't mean that it's necessarily serving you anymore. And that's really, really what I feel for this next era of my life. It's really becoming very comfortable with this energy that I know is a part of my story, but it is so not comfortable in the fact of like, it's my resting state. It feels natural, because it fucking doesn't. Like I don't know what it's like to do life with a partner, but I really, really want to know. So last night I was even thinking, and I just all the time talk to God, whether it's out loud or in my head. And I'm like, when I get in these moments of like, I feel like it's so far away and I feel like I'm never going to be able to become that, like, please just help get me back on track. And it's something that I really felt called to share about in today's episode, because I know that for a lot of us, you know, we're all comfortable in certain identities. We're all comfortable, you know, doing certain things. Like if you're super comfortable with being overweight, the thought of you actually being like healthy and, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and being this person that you really, really want to become, and you know that it's possible for you, but you're like, well, my whole life I've been overweight. Like my whole life, like I just don't even know what life is like being this person who's fit and who is so proud of the body that they're in. Or maybe it's the opposite for you, maybe you're, I don't know, like I'm just thinking about all these different scenarios of like, okay, maybe you're someone who has chronically always been in relationships, but you're like, no, I feel this really strong pull and this really strong calling to just do life alone just for me for this certain season of my life or something like that. Like becoming really, really comfortable with knowing that there are going to be setbacks, right? Like I know for sure that like what is so comfortable for me and what is so natural for me is just to continue to do life alone. But at the same time, my soul is like, it wants nothing more but to shift into this new identity. So I have to consciously be doing the work, not only mentally, but also in my body and in showing up as if I'm already living this life where my partner is right there beside me. And like for me, like I know that my partner is the unlock for everything else that's possible for me in my life. I remember hearing that from my mentor at the beginning of this year. And I was like, fuck, like I'm sitting over here, manifesting the money and like the career status, but it's like, you can't outrun what your soul really, really needs. And now I'm so on board with like, you know what? Like my number one priority in my life is opening up or welcoming in my husband. I'm inviting him in. I'm not chasing him. I'm not forcing, but I'm like, I know that with him in my life and in my corner, everything else, like I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like everything that I could have ever dreamed about will happen. I feel it so strongly in my body and in my soul. And it's kind of like, damn, it took me this long to get to this point to know that, because for so long I wanted everything else but that. Truly, like I've known for a few years that I was ready to be with someone, but I want to say up until this year, I wasn't fully ready for that big, big, big life shift. I loved my time alone. I thought that someone would like mess up just the way that I go about my days, and just, when you're in a relationship, it brings up a lot of your shit because it's the ultimate mirror. But I also didn't truly feel like I was worthy. Like I had a really big release at the beginning of this year, and I realized like, oh my God, like I have always been worthy and I'm so worthy, and there's nothing else more that I need to do in order to attract the type of man that I know I am supposed to be with, basically. So, but back to my point about, constantly asking for help. I think it's really, really important that all of us know that there is so much support around us. The word support and the idea of having support is something that has come up a lot for me, I want to say over the past like month and a half, whether it's like my clients talking about how grateful they are for the support that they now have, or seeing people ask for money or ask for support on social media, or just like, asking people for help. Maybe they weren't used to doing that. Like I know for me over the years, and I'm still working on this for sure, but I've definitely become more okay with asking for support and for help. And that's also, a huge unlock for me and this new identity shift. When you're someone who is so used to just navigating life alone, it can be really challenging and really hard to now move in the complete opposite fashion and start asking for help. But I've also really come to terms with like the idea of being a woman and being a divine feminine energy and opening myself up to receiving from other people. Like I even had a hard time with the support that my parents were giving me last year, because I realize now that I just was truly still so conditioned to not receive the support. And when you're with a man, as what I've seen with a lot of my girlfriends, it's like their man does so much for them, and I cannot wait for that. but it is my job right now. Every time that I get pulled backwards, that my ego or just this energy within me that's so used to just doing life with myself, every time that something tries to pull me back there, I'm like, help me come back to this future self, me, that is living this type of life, is living this life that I know that I'm meant for, that I know that I need, that I know is part of my story. And even if my mind tries to convince me that it just is not possible, like, in what world am I actually receiving this love and receiving this level of safety and security and peace and wealth too? And like, what world, like, we can dream about all these things, but for some of us, it's easier, I think, to really, really connect to that and not have it feel like a pipe dream. And for me, because again, I am every single day stepping away from this old identity, it's starting to feel less and less and less like a pipe dream. But it only feels that way because I'm really doing the work and I'm really, really committing myself to prioritizing this. And I think that that's so important. I have been someone that for as long as I can remember, I'm like, well, I can't just pick one thing that I want all these things. And like, for as long as I have been consciously manifesting, it's like, well, I want the money and I want the man and I want the this, I want the that. But at the root, what I really, 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 really wanted was to be seen in my career and to have some level of fame and have some level of recognition. And what I do realize now is like, it's not about any of that. Like, I am fully connected to my value and I'm fully connected to my impact, but that is only going to happen once I fully, I don't want to say commit to this new life because I've already committed, but once I'm truly like really living in this new life. And that new life involves a partner. And it's not just me. So anytime that I get stripped away from that knowing, from that truth, that's what it is. It is my truth. And for you, whatever you're so used to doing or being was totally part of your truth. Like 100%, I'm very certain that this woman that I was, as a teenager and as an adult, like, I really needed to become my own best friend. I really needed to rely on no one else but me. And I'm so grateful that that was the path that I walked for many, many, many years. But I'm also about to enter an entirely new decade, and that person is not the same person that I was for a very, very long time. And I acknowledge that and I accept that. And I'm so grateful for who I have become in order to get myself here. That's another thing. It's like, I know that the man that I'm attracting and the life that I'm attracting would not be to this caliber if I had not become so dang comfortable with myself as a human being. And like, I was not scared of going into the trenches when it came to my healing. Like, I love depth. I was so fascinated with learning every single thing there was to know about myself. And I'm so grateful that I did that and that I did not hold myself back. I think what we see a lot of times with people is they kind of do the opposite, right? They like very quickly get into a relationship or, move for a person, and then they're married and then they have a baby and they have all this stuff. And it's like they wake up at 40 and they're like, what the fuck am I doing? Or maybe they pour themselves into a career that they're truly not connected to at all. And then one day they have this big aha moment of like, what is my life? And then they burn everything to the ground. Like, I was always very connected to this idea of that will never be me. That will never, ever, 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 ever be me. I will follow every ping. I will follow every sign. And I had to become really, really comfortable with putting myself first above everyone and everything else. And not to say that I was like, a self-centered biatch during my 20s. I definitely wasn't. But as the years have gone on and as I've just, I don't even know, become more mature, become older, become more connected to this new version of myself, I'm like, it's not just about me anymore. And that's really, really nice to know. But because I now know that it's not all about me anymore, I have to do due diligence for myself for this new life that Rebecca is living, and acknowledge that, you know, it's gonna take some time and it's gonna take some work. But I promise you that if you are in a similar position where you are ready to shift identities and you are ready to shift the life that you are living, like, I can easily say this to anyone, whether it's a girlfriend or on social media. I'm like, listen, I love my life and I'm so grateful for it, but I'm so fucking ready for a new one. Like, my life can take a total 360 and I'd be like, yep, I'm good. Like I'm really, really ready for it. And that is not at all coming from a place of, I hate my life. My life is so horrible. Like, I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for the work that I do. I'm so grateful when I wake up in the morning. I'm so grateful for just who I am as a person, for like everything. I love my life, but I'm also at the same time so ready to experience a whole new life and a whole new lifestyle. And, you know, maybe you're in the stage right now where you're grieving that, which I totally was there, like grieving just where I've been living and grieving my single life, and not even just my single life, like grieving just doing life on my own. In the sense of, I do whatever I want whenever I want. I never have to, like, not ask, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just it was whatever I wanted. And not to say that that's going to completely go away, but, you know, I've gone through a full spectrum of emotions as I now fully and very confidently step into this new life. And it feels so right. It feels very safe. It feels very peaceful. And it also feels really fucking exciting to now be so dang connected to this new vision of my life, and to now be doing kind of like a whole different side of the self-development work that I have never really done before, which is really, really cool. And I'm being surprised every day. And I'm really, really, really leaning heavily on support from God, for sure, from also like support from myself and support from other people, and knowing that, like, okay, if this is the priority, then we need to make it a priority, and nothing is going to come above that. So yeah, just thought that I would share a little bit of an update as to internally what is shifting in my life. There will be probably some bigger news to come in the next few months, but for right now, I'm like in the vision board, not even just in the vision board energy, but it's like the vision board meets action energy. I spent a lot of time these first few months kind of like rearranging my vision board, because I came into the new year, I thought that what I wanted was what my soul wanted, and I was very quickly surprised, like, nope, that's not it. I mean, not to say that everything changed, but again, my priorities massively shifted from only really focusing on my career to focusing on partnership, which is just new for me, but it's so fun and so exciting and feels so right. And I know for a lot of us, you know, we are desiring new things thanks to just recent life events or the eclipse energy or just new shifts happening in our life. Maybe you just got out of a relationship. Maybe you just moved to a new city. Maybe you're changing careers. I don't know what it is, but like, I always think that, you know, we always have two choices. We can sit here and we can say like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. How the fuck am I going to do this? How is this going to happen? How? Or we can sit in this energy of like, this is so exciting. This is so cool that I'm now building out this new dream life, and I have this new vision, and I get to become something different, and I get to show up differently. I just think when you look at it from this angle and perspective of like excitement for what you're doing, it is going to put you in such a healthier place than if you're sitting in this energy of like, how am I going to do this? Because again, I think that it's so easy, at least for me, to put myself there. Something that I do really pride myself in is that I can easily spiral and put myself in a fearful, anxious state. Also because I'm an entrepreneur and like there's no fucking sense of stability, at least in my journey. But I'm also, again, like I'm shifting into a new life where I actually get to be an entrepreneur and have complete safety and security. Slay. So to wrap this all up, you always have a choice. And if you are like me and you are navigating a big shift in your life, I am right there with you. And I just think that it's so cool. And I'm so excited for what's to come. And it's a very new feeling, but I'm leaning on help and I'm leaning on support. And I know that I am capable of this. And yeah, I think also just reminding yourself daily, like, you're capable of change. You have so much power. And if you maybe not necessarily, it's not like, again, I hate my life or like everything sucks. Like, no, that's so not the energy. It's just, I know that I've fully outgrown this identity and this version of myself. And I'm now fully ready to be in this new identity. So yeah, that's what I have for you for today's episode. I do want to mention, if you are navigating a big shift, like I mentioned, I have a few different offerings to help guide you through that. One would be my breakthrough session. It is a 90-minute session. You have the option of focusing on human design, astrology, just a bunch of different elements that we can totally integrate in the session. Or if you're just like, listen, I just want really aligned intuitive guidance and I'm not as much concerned about human design or astrology or something else, we can totally focus on that. I only have this one session because I wanted to incorporate basically everything that I did into one and then leave it up to the client to decide, like, okay, what tools and what resources do you want me to use when I'm giving you this guidance on how to move forward and how to break through. Literally, like, that's the point of this session. You break through whatever stagnation or fog that you're feeling, and you are able to not only mentally put yourself in a really good place, but you are able to move forward with certainty and with conviction and with so much confidence in yourself and in your path and in your choices. And you're able to move forward with bold momentum. That is my hope and goal of the session. So the breakthrough session, and then also if you're interested in coaching. I mean, obviously you're going to get so much out of the session. I have always gotten such incredible insight with every provider that I have worked with in some capacity, but I will say, like, having worked with a mentor / coach for all of this year, it has been so instrumental in my growth. And like, I was thinking about this last night as well, like, I think that for everyone, you know, we have access to foundational knowledge, whether that's you watch a YouTube video, you listen to a podcast, you read a book, you watch a certain show. Like, I think that we are so grateful to have so many outlets and so much incredible information just literally at our fingertips. But for me personally, and I really stand behind this, like, when I have done big life-altering changes in my life, like big work, I have worked with someone personally. Whether that's a naturopath, my chiropractor, a certain healer, a personal trainer. Like, to me, the true change at your core comes from working with someone personally. And I just, like, I really stand behind that in my work. That's why I don't, and never say never, but like, I have no desire to do like group workshops or anything like that, because I just see how potent, how pivotal the change is when you are working with someone one-on-one. So with that being said, I have 2 coaching spaces that I'm offering currently. A 3-month container, which is for the person that is ready for accelerated growth. Not to say that, like, I don't like the idea of like a quick fix, because this is so not a quick fix, but because I'm seeing you every week for a session and we are working very closely together in such a short amount of time, you will experience rapid growth for whatever you are shifting right now. And then I also do have a 6-month space. This is obviously a longer time period. We are still meeting frequently. We're meeting bi-weekly. But this is for the person that is not necessarily maybe like wanting that condensed amount of time, and they really want to set the foundation and set themselves up to like not just receive these big shifts in their life, but to really hold it and to create lasting change and lasting transformation. So there's no better option, or that's not what I meant, sorry. There's no, like, one option is not better than the other, basically. They're both great options. It's just totally what you are needing in your life right now. But I just wanted to throw that out there just in case you were unaware. Everything is always linked in the show notes. My website, you can go and check that out. Everything is, I just redid my website, so it's very, very clear what is being offered right now on my website. But stay tuned for the YouTube. Stay tuned for YouTube and the videos to come there. Also, Radiate is also available for purchase, my 12-week strength training program, and I'm done selling now. But thank you so much for listening to this episode. I so appreciate you being a listener. Would love to have you share it with someone that you think needs to hear this message today. Leave me a comment. Leave me whatever you want. You can always connect with me over on Instagram too. I just love to hear from you guys, to hear how these messages have resonated with you. I'm definitely doing my very best to just actively share what's coming through me. I feel very much so like I can't keep these channeled messages to myself because they're definitely just not for me. So I love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.